Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Amateur Players Tour podcast. I'm Matt Minder, CEO and co-founder of the APT. This is the first of the APT Golf podcasts. I'm here with my special friend, Mr. Jack Curry. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Matt. Thanks for having us on.
No, it's good to have you. It's certainly good to start with you. You know, you've got lots of nicknames in the golf industry. All the APT members know and love you. As certainly the gentleman responsible for 2 Under US Glove, but also a great member of the Myrtle Beach chapter, and all kinds of nicknames. My bridesmaids have nicknames for you. All that relates to 2 Under, which is a really fun product we'll get into here in a little bit. But how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Couldn't be better for a Tuesday.
Absolutely. So, we're recording this. We'll get this aired probably December 1st, I think. We'll have to figure that out. It's the first one. So
yeah.
Who knows? But the goal of this is every other week, we're going to sit down with a sponsor. We're going to sit down with some players. We'll sit down with some chapter owners, kind of more long form, conversational, get to know you interview. It's going to be a lot of fun. And looking right into it. And you were a fitting first guest. Obviously, Jody and I sent you an interesting cold call email to 2 Under back in the day when we first started. And you responded that you were already a member of the APT and would love to be involved. So we're thankful to have your support from literally before day one. So it
was fun. It was just ironic that you actually reached out to me, and here I am, a member, with Barton and that time, and you two reached out to me to be a sponsor, and I said, well, geez, this makes perfect sense, and took it to our execs, and I'm really happy. I mean, obviously, I was really glad to be a part of the APT. Living in Myrtle Beach, meeting golfers, it's a golf mecca, of course. So you want to be involved with golfers every day, and I enjoy the camaraderie, the friendship, the fellowship that we all have. But the game, being the competitive guy who likes to play competitive golf, but at the same time have fun doing it. It's not so bad. I mean, it's so competitive for me that that's a be all. It really made it a lot of fun just to be a part of an organization like that and get to meet so many new people, and at every level too, everything from a scratch all the way up to a 30 handicap, which is great.
Right. It is certainly a diverse group of players. And how many events do you think you would say you've played on the APT? It's been this is started year 5. So you've been since day one.
Yeah, it's day one. Unfortunately, I probably don't play as much as everybody else, but I probably have in 50, maybe 50 or 60.
Yeah. That makes a good time. One of the things I want to bring up to you off the bat, because you're one of the few people that's gotten promoted and then worked all the way up to the new division and won in the new division. Why don't you tell me a little bit about that experience and, what it was like to earn the promotion, and then, maybe the thought process of going through starting to play in the new division and how you achieve success in your new division.
I look at it as a personal challenge. I mean, when I joined the APT, obviously my handicap was established, and I was probably right around 11 or 12. And I had really in my mindset, I wanted to get to a single digit again. I was down there at one point, wasn't playing enough. And I knew by joining the APT, it would force me to play more and also to practice and take this interest a little bit further than just a casual golf round of drinking a few fireballs and a couple beers with the boys. And it really did help. And it was tough. I mean, even as at Division III, when I was out there, I didn't play well in the beginning. I wasn't playing smart golf, managing my golf game. And then I started understanding it, managing the golf game, playing it properly, and really got to enjoy the part of the wins. The wins were fun because it came right down to the wire. 9 times out of 10, it was down on the 16th, 17th, or 18th hole. Strokes were there, strokes weren't there. You had two ahead or 4 behind, one or the other. You were trying to finish. And I got the opportunity to finish, and I finished strong. And year before last of this, of course, I finished real strong in D3 in 2023. And that's what got me the Battlefield promotion, and here it is. I was looking forward to it. I mean, my goal in the middle of 2023 was to get to D2. I wanted to get there, but I knew it wasn't going to be easy. You have to have a certain amount of wins. You have to be able to play. And the handicap was going down, which was the important part. It was going to fit right into D2. And then fortunately, I finished the year real strong. I think I won the last event of the year that got me my 3rd, and started off the new year, and bingo, here we go. I win 2 out of the first 5 events, and I finished 2nd in one of those that I didn't win. And I'm like, wow, are you that good or that lucky? And I think it was more the luck.
Well, I mean, I know, you've done a lot of work, certainly on your body as well to to get stronger and get better. But what I want to talk about a little bit, I think, is really interesting. And I tell people this all the time because one of the main things when people get promoted on the APT is they freak out. I'm in a new division. I can't compete with these guys. They shoot better scores. And 9 times out of 10, it has nothing to do with the skill level that you have. It has everything to do with how you approach the game mentally and how you manage your game around the golf course. And that's something that you learned and did very well. So why don't you talk a little bit more and elaborate on that for everybody?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I had to manage my game. Going into the D2, I mean, it was the challenge. That's what I wanted. And I knew if I didn't manage my game properly, I wasn't going to be able to compete. I was going to get my ass whooped and feel rejected and dejected. And I didn't want that to happen. So I kept a positive attitude with it. And yeah, I did some stuff to help my health to make me a little stronger. Also, I changed tees, of course. Moving from the whites into the senior tees because my age. I mean, I actually when I was in D3, I could have easily played the senior tees because I'm 69. So it's not like I wasn't 68 at that point. But I felt going into D2 that if I could really carve my game up, make it right, where I knew my mistakes were, and I got to get rid of the big numbers. We all do. There's nobody that likes double bogeys, and we all get them. And when you get them, you know that you need 2 birdies just to get back to where square is, and that's always difficult to do as well. But I challenged myself, and I felt compelled that if I could do that, I could compete, and I loved it. I mean, listen, I don't mind losing 5 weeks or 6 weeks in a row, but I sure as hell want to come back and win. I can tell you, it makes me even stronger to want to come back.
Yeah, no, it's certainly a lot of fun when we see people, especially going through the promotion and then, going through, because it can be an intimidating step. Like we fully understand that, but you can get through it, and it doesn't necessarily mean going to the range and beating balls for 100 hours to be able to compete in the next division. A lot of time, like you said, it's cleaning up. It's cleaning up double bogeys. It's thinking your way around the golf course to give yourself more looks at birdies, taking less stress off of your game when it's not necessary to add a bunch of stress. Sometimes it's better to hit a 3-iron and an 8-iron to a par 4 than trying to hit driver flip wedge.
100%, and you got to have the goals, right? And the one thing about APT that you have great goals that you can strive for as a player, and that is the player of the year, the chapter player of the year. So to win, to have those carrots at the end of those tunnels, that's awesome. For every golfer from Division 1 to Division 5, you've got the opportunity to excel and be recognized for your good play. And I think that's the satisfaction that we all as competitors want, is not somebody to tell us we're good. We want to feel like we are good, that we've done the things to get better and be there.
Right. No, absolutely. And the mental piece of it is so interesting. Like I learned the lesson a little different. I've always kind of been a D1 player since getting out of high school. And so I haven't really went through the Division 3, Division 2, Division 1 ranks like a lot of APT, but I did go from, champ flight amateur golf to playing on a mini tour. And I remember when you show up a mini tour, you felt like if you made a bogey, you might as well just walk off because somebody was going to make 8 birdies. And so if you made a bogey, you felt like you had to make 2 birdies to get back to even where you should have been, because you probably should have birdied the hole you made bogey on. Sure. And it was a different level. And I remember when I came back to amateur golf after that year, what was interesting, I had a great run on a different amateur tour. And a lot of that was the fact of all of a sudden I was free. When I made a mistake, I was like, oh, I can make enough birdies to make up for this at this level. And so it's the same thing in reverse, right? Going forward is, the biggest jumps in APT are obviously from 4 to 3 because the tee box changes, and 2 to 1 because the tee box change. But there's so much you can do to improve your scores just by thinking around the golf course a little bit better. And so it's been fun to see. Certainly, Jack, you've worked your way from, you said 11 or 12 handicap when you started now to you handicap wise, I believe you're right in the middle, right? 5?
Yeah, I'm 6.4, something like that.
Yeah, solid Division 2 player, winning tournaments in D2. Stinking awesome. But, we want to get in and talk too a little bit. Obviously your background, you've been in the golf business for a really long time, both with 200 and US Glove. But what got you into the golf business? Like, I don't know if I know the full story. So tell me a little bit of how you got into the golf business and ended up doing what you're doing today.
Yeah, so I worked way back in when I was in high school. I went to Archbishop Ryan LaSalle College, Philadelphia boy, and worked at a place called Gold Medal Sporting Goods for 10 years, and really got to know. I had a great mentor there named Cliff Epstein, who's now passed away. God bless his soul. Who just taught us all the good things about life and what do you want out of life, and talked to us about sporting goods and golf and fitness and fashion, you name it. He was a part of it. And he was a psychology major out of Temple, just one of those guys that loved people. But what he taught me the most about is, create an avocation. It can't be a vocation, it has to be an avocation. You got to love what you do. And if you don't do it. And I was blessed enough to do it for 10 years with him. And I was dusting tennis balls when I first started, in high school. And we in our store had four or five rows of tennis cans, and the first row was full and everything else was empty behind it because they couldn't afford to keep them all full at that time. But as we grew, we got to a $40 million company. I left and became a rep. And then I went to him in my 8.5 years into it. I said, Cliff, I want to get married. I want to have kids. I want to buy a house. I really can't, it's not your fault, but you can't pay me at retail the numbers that I need to achieve to be able to do all those things. And I'd like to be a rep. I want to stay in this business. And he said, okay, great. Let's keep our ears to the ground. And sure enough, Brad Danforth, one of the major reps there who had, actually McGregor, Sandit, Riddell, sports specialties, Felco jackets, kangaroo shoes. I mean, he needed somebody to work for him in the East Coast. And he said to me, I want you to run all of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and a little bit of Delaware. I said, fine, let's do it. So I went out on the road and had great success and went from there. Went to number one rep in less than 18 months in the country. And they had an opening in the West Coast at that time. And they were going to fire the West Coast rep who had a agency that covered all 13 Western states.
Oh,
I
wow.
did that. I went to the West Coast, had a partner there. We ran 13 Western states, had 7 guys that worked for us, and I had 3 cars that never saw California. Left one in the Pacific Northwest, one in the Rockies, and one in the Desert Southwest, and flew to those and just went and put 1,000 miles a week on just driving cars and seeing customers and developing relationships. Very blessed at that point, of course, getting into the golf business, which was part of the sporting goods business through the retailers. When I came back to the East Coast, no, I mean, we're going back now from 73 till 2009 is when I came back to the East Coast, from 1986. So I had an opportunity to come back East, and the kids were older, and we lived in Easton, PA. And at that point, Jay went to school at Coastal Carolina University in the PGM school. And I got even more involved in golf at that point. And we were selling it already to the golf courses through US Glove and through Sandit and Riddell and Sports Specialties, some of the stuff that we can sell to golf shops.
Right.
And it just afforded me an opportunity to really focus on one segment of the market versus where I was in 6 or 7 segments. And golf became my focus. And I loved golf as it was. I played a lot of golf all through high school. Didn't go to college for with golf. Just played a little baseball there, and that was it. But loved it. It was an advocation for getting out and playing golf every time I could. And of course, we're members at a country club up in Easton, so I played 3 days a week up there, and just came down to Myrtle Beach, and we're running obviously a couple different companies at that point. And then 2 Under came to me in 2014 and said, listen, we're looking to get somebody to run our business. We're a bunch of Canadians who don't know how to get to the US market. And that's where I was introduced to Dave Williams, and told him, I said, we need to have some foreplay before we get married. Let's try a 90-day test. What are your goals? What do you want to happen in the next 90 days? And he said, here's what I want in the next 6 months. If you can achieve it, show me in 90 days what you can do, and we'll write a contract up. And rest is history. I've been with them since.
Yeah, I think 200's an interesting brand. Obviously, love Dave. Always look forward to seeing him at the PGA show every year. Great guy, huge supporter of the APT. It's interesting from a golf space, right? Is you don't get into the golf business thinking you want an underwear brand, but you wear the product and you totally get it. And that's one of the things I love about it. It's a product that certainly sells itself. You just gotta try it on one time, and it's a done deal.
Yeah,
So
and when you have a product that actually works too. I mean, again, I remember I was the Eastern Regional Manager for Tommy Armour, and Tommy Armour Golf had the 845s. So they were like it's a no-brainer. It's Ping I2 and the Tommy Armour 845s were the two biggest selling sets in the world. 1.8 and 1.4 million sets a year they were selling.
Right. Well, I mean, it's just crazy to think about. I think about all the times when I was traveling around playing the collegiate tours, we'd walk 36 a day in a tournament and have to drive 6 hours home, and it was miserable. It was absolutely miserable. You couldn't get comfortable. And
No.
so, and 200 certainly has changed all that, which is super nice. But what about 200 makes it a great product in the golf space?
Well, the biggest thing was the golf space did not know about that segment of the market, right? I mean, they had nobody that said underwear. What are you talking about? Golf shops doing underwear? Well, like you said, everybody who's on the golf course has the same issue. They have to deal with heat buildup, moisture buildup, skin on skin contact, and chafing. So if we can eliminate that, I can put a smile on every golfer's face or every man's face. So they came up with the patented Joey pouch. That's what we hang our assets on, literally. And we had an advantage there because there was only one other company that was really a factor in the marketplace, and that was called Saks.
Right.
And they had a great product. They call it the ballpark pouch now, but it's still not a pouch. It's more like a hammock. But because they had the concept built and they were out there selling to the menswear shops and the Buckle and Journey and people like that, they didn't focus on the golf market. They had tried, but they really didn't realize how good the golf market was. And because Rampion, which is the parent company of 2 Under, was so golf focused, we said, let's go to the PGA of America first.
Right.
And let's show them that we can make this special for the golf market. And to this day, that we know that's what put us on the dance floor. And we'll be always a very a part of the golf business because their allegiance to us, their loyalties to us are immense. I mean, the PGA of America executive board wears the product of the PGA of America, the Ryder Cup team, of course, the entire President's Cup team, all the captains. Now we got some ambassadors like Ricky, but I mean, Justin Thomas, Phil Mickelson. I remember he went to Korea for the President's Cup back in 2015. I want to say it was, maybe it's wrong. I'm wrong. It's 16, but one of those years there, he was over there. And fortunately, the guy who was dressing the team was one of the menswear shops we were selling. It's called Weiss and Goldring, a 108-year-old company, menswear company out of Alexandria, Louisiana. Ted Silver is the guy's name, Jewish guy who's just an unbelievable human being, one of my best friends in the business. Calls me up. He said, hey, I heard about this new underwear that you have. How good is it? I said, it's so good that I'll send you a couple pair and you tell me. And he got them and he loved them. And he said, listen, you didn't know this, but I dressed the entire team for the President's Cup. And when I lay out their outfits on the bed, I could put your underwear on the bed. I said, how many pair do you want of each player? Let me go to my execs and do it. He said, you tell me. I went to the execs. Joey, Dave, and Rocky came back and said, hey, let's give them a 3-pack of everything. And sure enough, red, white, and blue, we put it on the bed. They all wore it. They came back. Phil Mickelson literally buys his suits from Ted, even though he's in California, and he bought 47 pair. His first buy.
That's not how it works. Well, I think that's the biggest testimony you get because all the APT guys want to know, well, do the tour guys wear it? And I always thought it was interesting when I was a tech rep for Ping, back in the day before TaylorMade sold, every TaylorMade paid the most money to the tour players. Most tour players were playing TaylorMade. It was all a financial thing. And the thing was with Ping, when you walk around a tour player's bag that wasn't a Ping guy and you'd see a Ping 3-wood or a Ping driver or Ping wedges, that's when you know that the product's really good because they're not paid endorsers.
Sure.
And so it's really cool to see all the tour guys on the 2 Under side that aren't paid endorsers. Obviously, you have Ricky, and we love Ricky, but so many guys wearing it. I think it's funny on the APT because, too many times people show them to me and you that they're wearing 2 Under. But I really don't want to see it. So
right. Thank you.
It's
just give me your fist and tell me you're pouching.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, what's interesting is obviously there's an underwear brand a minute, it feels like, popping up.
Yep.
In the space. I saw a TV commercial for another new one last night. I was like, whatever. But what in your opinion, what separates 2 Under from all of the products out there? What's the big difference?
I think the big difference is the quality. The fit is very, very consistent. The quality of the material is amazing. Some people have said to me, "I can't believe I have underwear that's over 2 years old and still wearing it." So we maybe our planned obsolescence on our product isn't as good as we should have made it, but it's because we use the best grade of lensing modal for the fabric and the construction of the fabric. You don't have many. I mean, granted, some are going to have a slice where it's not supposed to be, or a hole comes up where it's not supposed to be, but our return rate is 1/10 of 1% on 400,000 pairs. So just you do the math. It's minuscule. We don't even question. We had a guy who sent us a pair. It looked like he ran over it with his truck. There's no way he could have wore it this way and got it that bad. And he said, "Well, I'm disappointed." And we said, "Well, all right, what size was it? And what do you want?" You got a new pair coming to you right away. We don't even hesitate. But I think the difference is definitely the fact that our customer service and the fact that we keep it changing and put a changing face on each of the products every single season, not just year, gives you fall, winter, spring, summer, and in the fall, winter, of course, is holiday. It's become a gift item. So men obviously is our biggest buyer, no doubt about it. But now women have become our best buyers, and they buy 70% of men's underwear between October 1st and December 31st every year, because every man in their life is getting some kind of form of underwear. It used to be a 6-pack from Wally World of tighty whities, but now they're buying 5 and 6 and 8 and 10 pair of 2 under. We had a lady walk into a pro shop up in the thumb of Michigan and bought 19 pair of larges the other day. The pro called me. He says, "Dude, I need underwear quick. I got holiday." I said, "Yeah, well, you just got a 24 pair of them." He says, "No, one lady took 19 pair." And I said, "Well, it's crazy." So that's really, I think, what separates us is the Joey pouch, the no drip tip, the fact that we have a fly a functional fly on the product definitely made a difference, because a lot of people weren't liking the fact that they had to drop their drawers in a water closet. So now you don't have to do that. Plus, we offer a variety. Nobody offers the variety of sizing. We do extra small to 5X,
Right.
and we do a variety of colors and prints.
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot of good things. It cracks me up. I always love, even with you guys as a sponsor, I love opening the stocking to get some 2 under every Christmas. So great stocking stuffer. Shameless plug. We do have a lot of 2 under still in stock in the APT Pro Shop. I know the November member deal is a 2-pack for a stupid rate.
It is.
So you can take advantage of that through your digital membership card. But here's curious, 2Under's got a lot of products besides just underwear. So I'm curious, what's your favorite product in the line?
Well, I have to say the hoodie is probably my favorite product besides the underwear, just because I wear it every day. I've got the sleeve, the long sleeve version of it on that we did for the Folds of Honor with you. The new, though, I haven't worn it yet. The Juicy is catching on really fast because I haven't got to wear it yet, playing either pickleball, working out, or swimming in it. But if it's anything like what we took off when we introduced it, we brought 2,400 pair in to test. 1,950 of those pairs were gone in the first 30 days. So it's hot. The new short, the Bodie short I'm wearing right now, is over the top good. I will say this. Dave and Rocky and Joey, Dave and Rocky especially, because they're the designers and they own the brand, are very cognizant of what's going on in the industry, and they're not trying to be in a Me Too business. They're doing it slow and methodical and doing it right. They're coming out with a product, making sure it's fit right, making sure it's accepted and it's priced right, and they're doing a good job in that. And they're not trying to be everything to everybody, which is important, because if you do, you're going to fail, because you can't throw so much on the wall that only one sticks. You need everything to stick if you're a small family company like us.
No, it makes perfect sense. If you ask my wife what their favorite product is, it would definitely be the long sleeve shirts. I got to probably go right now. It'd be the Bodie. I think the Bodie's good. The long johns are really good too, though. So I mean, there's a lot of good offerings there.
This time of year, long johns are very popular.
Yeah. So hopefully we don't need any of them at APT events, although sometimes it does happen from time to time.
Well, I hope you're right, because you're coming here in a week and a half, and right now the coldest week of the year is coming up, starting this Saturday.
Yeah, we're looking at highs at like 57 for the tournament.
As long as it's sunny and 57 and there's no wind,
Yeah,
it's great.
exactly. So I think we're going to be okay. But yeah, it's an interesting. We've had a really warm fall, and then all of a sudden it's went really cold across the country. So
and it was supposed to be warm.
Yeah, no, but it's it's always interesting, because you look at the forecast, and my rule is if you look at the forecast 2 weeks out and something you don't like, it's probably a good thing because it's most
Gonna
likely going
change,
to change. So
especially at the beach.
you start to get scared if 2 weeks out you're like, oh, the weather looks perfect, and then you're like, crap, it's going to change 3 times.
One thing I'll share with you on the 2 under that everybody should know at the APT. We feel the best testimonial we can ever offer, let alone the fact that everybody's wearing it. And thanks for all your support, everybody, is the fact that we've got 18 NFL teams now and 71 major colleges who get free underwear from Under Armour, Nike, and Adidas, and they buy ours. That to me is the best testimonial I could have because, like you said earlier, they don't have to wear it. They get free underwear from other people, and they're refusing to wear it and want to wear ours. So they have to buy it because we can't give it to them free. We can't afford to.
Right. So, yeah. So as it continues to grow with those teams and the word keeps getting out there, it's all a good thing. So as far as a brand, why is APT, do you think, a good fit for 2Under?
That's a great question. I think when you came to me, I don't know if you had 150 members at that point.
Wasn't very many.
But to me, it meant that you were being very dedicated. You and Jody had dedicated yourself from your experiences at other areas in this industry to create a tour by the players for the players. And to me, that whole saying really hit home. It was it made an impact to me that you're going to make a difference in this industry. And you know what? It's proven that. And I've watched it. And I love the fact that we were able to be on the infancy stages with you, to grow with you, because we're all not getting rich on 6,500 members, but the fact that 6,500 members are becoming 8,000 and that 8,000 is going to become 10,000, and the fact that those 6,500 have a mouth and can spread the word and tell somebody about it is to me more impactful than taking an ad out on TV, because it's 30 seconds of a blip and you're gone. Here it's consistency, and the loyalty from the members is amazing. But the APT's message is what really drives 2Under to be a part of your organization. We love being a national sponsor because of the message that you give to the players, and that is this organization is designed for you. We're going to find ways, no matter whether it's partnering with the right sponsors or it's a matter of finding the software programs or whatever it is, to make your experience in golf the best experience that you can possibly have.
Right. No, I think it's good, and we have similar marketing limitations. I'll put limitations or benefits, right? Like you see a commercial for underwear on TV and you're like, it doesn't really drive me to go buy underwear, right?
Sure.
So, but what does buy me is when somebody comes and is like, hey man, like you need to try these. Like it kind of changed my life, because it does. I'll tell anybody the same thing. Like I'll never forget our first major we brought you guys in as a T gift was TPC San Antonio in 2021. And it was like, the first day was like 65 degrees. And the next day was going to be hot. It was like 85. And the guy came and was like, really? I come all the way across the country and you're giving me a pair of underwear as part of the T gift? And I said, here's the deal, man. We had our whole pro shop set up with everything. I said, wear them tomorrow. If you don't think it's the best thing that you've gotten at a golf tournament in the last 10 years, I'll let you have anything in the pro shop you want instead. And he comes back next day. He's like, can I buy 10? Because you see the difference, and it's a significant difference on the 2Under side. And we're happy to be a part of it with you guys as well. I always joke with Jody, we never thought we'd be selling 2Under when we started a golf tour, or selling underwear. But here we are, and it's a great product. It's we're supremely confident that if our members give it a try, that they're going to see a very noticeable difference in their comfort and performance and overall happiness on a hot day. I don't know a better way to you come up with all the things that are like borderline appropriate to say when it comes to that. So I just like, your life will be better when it's 90 degrees outside and you're walking a golf course if you're wearing 2Under. I can assure you of that.
We're very grateful and blessed to be a part of the organization, and we certainly we feel that the parallel business model that we have, like you said, we don't have to go out there and spend a lot of money marketing, because we have a best product and you have the best organization that offers a golf product. Just matches very well. And we look forward to continuing what we're doing and finding more ways to help your players and your organization grow.
No, absolutely. We look forward to it. Well, let's get back to you being a player a little bit. I think it's important. It's kind of fun because we can do the first one. We've got the sponsor and the player profile. We can go back and forth between. But, from a player perspective, what's your favorite part about being a player on the APT?
The availability to play anywhere in the country and play courses that you normally have to pay an arm and a leg for, and you can't get to, by the APT growing and having so many chapters now. If I decide I want to go out there for a business trip and or a leisure trip, I can do it, and there's going to be a great golf course out there, and I'm going to meet new people. I think that's the best part about this whole thing. I'm meeting new people every day and making great new friends that are nationwide friends now, not just because of two under, just because we're having fun on a golf course, competing against each other, talking about our games, and go in there and commiserate or congratulate each other over beers and say, hey, this is great. Let's do this again and find another time to do it and look forward to seeing them at another event.
Right. Well, I think that's one of the things, like, not to get too deep into it, but one of the things that COVID's changed in our world a little bit that, I don't think is for the better is that so many of these meetings, instead of, flying to California to sit down across the table and do business with somebody and then go out to a happy hour and go to a dinner with them and actually get to know the person you're doing business with. Now we just sit on these Zoom calls or team calls, and you miss so much of, the benefit of interacting that way. And so I think it's really cool that APT offers the ability to get out and meet people from other states and different. I mean, culture may not be the right word, but certainly different customs and different across the country, right? Like, if you're in Texas and you go to New York and experience New York, it's not going to be like what you experience in Texas. And that's a great thing. And you get to meet a lot of people that are, just awesome, salt of the earth people that come from a different background and experience than you do. And I think it's a really cool thing. It makes me happy that that's what you look at as a player, because I think it's one of the coolest things on our end as well. We love watching it.
100%, no doubt about it. I mean, like, and Joanne, being able to take your significant other with you, any partners in this world that can share that experience with you, whether they're a golfer or not, isn't just about golfing, right? You're having dinners with each other and couples and other friends out there and beers, and you're sharing stories, and talking about your kids and talking about your families and what you do. So it's not just golf. It revolves around family and life and all the things that we're supposed to enjoy together.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, so one of the travel tournaments you've been to, like, what's your favorite memory at an APT major? That anything you can share? I know I'm putting you on the spot. Like, just so you know, everybody, no questions were given ahead of time. We're like the presidential debates, except I didn't pass them the questions ahead of time. We're going on it.
I don't think there's any one particular thing that sticks out. What I enjoyed at any major that I've been to, again, is arriving, playing a practice round, having some fun with people, and sharing the evening after the golf. It wasn't just going there for the golf. It was the fact that I had a chance to go out and enjoy camaraderie and fellowship with people and talk about the things other than golf, and we had political discussions, and we had discussions about, what's happening in a baseball side of the world or an NBA side, or, sports related, of course. But there are non-related sports discussions also that were a lot of fun. I think there's not one major that sticks out because they're all very good. If you go to a major with the APT, you're treated like you're a PGA pro. You're running a class organization that makes you feel fantastic when you get there. And when you're done, you may not have had the most successful event from a scoring wise, but when you're done, you don't feel discouraged that you went there and spent the time and the money to do it and that you weren't satisfied. It's very satisfying. You feel very satisfied when you're done. The ones I didn't do well in, I was, I'm kicking myself in the butt, nobody else. But I did have fun while I was there, and I enjoyed the people while I was there.
Right. I still remember that 4-ball we played where Jay came down and it was like 32 degrees.
Oh my God, that was brutal.
In Florida. It was like the worst weather in Florida history, I feel like.
I couldn't believe how cold it was, but it is what it is. You can't control the weather. If you can do that, you'd be God.
100%. We try to not schedule when it's going to be that. But
you don't know.
What about local chapter? I mean, Myrtle Beach is a fun I always love traveling to Myrtle Beach and hanging out with everybody. It's a great group of guys. I'm sure there's some serious shenanigans that have gone on between some of you guys. So is there a story you want to share with everybody from Myrtle?
Oh, I think the big well, the first thing, let me just congratulate and say that by hiring Jeff and Sherry Helms, you made a huge jump in what's going on down here. They're the classiest people I've ever met. They do it first class. They loved people. They do it every day. I mean, so they work very hard at it. I mean, to say that they aren't a workers would be an understatement, because not only do they run two other businesses or three other businesses, now they took on the East
The
Charlotte
Charlotte
chapter.
chapter, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, to
So,
me, that just says how much they believe in the APT and the organization. For them to take on that with all they have under their platter is amazing. But the one particular time that we had was it was a 2-day tournament at the Country Club of Florence, and the great facility. Unfortunately, the owners at that point weren't spending a lot of money. I understand they are spending more money,
oh,
or whoever
nice.
got involved, which is great. Can't wait to get back there soon. It's a great event, a great layout, and the venue is a great place. But we had fun, and came down to the wire on, I think, Division 1, 2, and 3 all went into a playoff, and it was really cool because we were there, we had a chance, and if you didn't finish 16, 17, and 18 in a flurry, you were going to get passed by. But that part of it was, I mean, there was probably 60 or 80 people that stayed around and watched all the playoffs, and it was just fun. And to me, that's really important, because that says the fellowship that's built up is that strong. Whether it was Cecilia Barksdale, who's not playing with us much right now, or Jamie Costanzo, who's running her own little organization,
Right.
we're all there. Everybody was there, and it was great to see. And I was really impressed by that, and it made me feel very blessed to be around those people.
Yeah, no, those are always the fun times. I love watching that. I love shotgun starts sometimes when there's a playoff, because everybody gets to stick around and
Sure,
hang out, and those are memories you're gonna remember forever, right? And
you
win or
can't forget them.
lose, it's a great feeling. Some of my favorite golf memories are the same way. Coming down playing Ryder Cups. So we used to do a Ryder Cup between cities in Illinois, and being the last match out, and one up on 18, trying to reach a par 5 and 2 and protect a lead, and pulling off shots, and just the emotions that go into it. Just it's why you play, and it's a huge part of creating the experience. But I was always curious. I've never asked you this question, because you've been in the golf industry for a long time, and obviously we reached out when we popped up, and you jumped all in on us, and you hadn't jumped in on other organizations. And so what about APT made you jump in from the very beginning? And why did you choose to play on our tour, and when with all the other options out there?
Well, first off, one of the other organizations I had reached out to was very snobbish. Like, you got to pay me $20,000. You got to do this. And I said, well, you're missing the whole point. I don't want to pay you anything right now. I want to find out why I should even be a part of the organization. And to me, that the arrogance that they had and the ignorance that they showed was a reason why we wouldn't get involved in that. And we had said also, when we first started the company, we said it's very difficult to say no to everybody or say yes to everybody. You can't say yes or you'll go broke, right? I mean, because there's a giving and a taking at every point of it. I can tell you that we get at least 100 inquiries a month for donations, and it's very difficult to say no. But what
Right.
we do is we come up with a tournament program, an event program that allows somebody to get a discount. By saying no, we can't donate to everybody. We say no, we can. What we can do though is create a special price point of a product if you want to put it in your swag bag, so that you can introduce it, and you could benefit from that if you're an organization that can come back and resell it to other people in that organization
Okay.
later on. And we used to have an affiliate program, and we don't have that anymore. We did just discontinued it because it wasn't productive for us, and the people that said they wanted to participate didn't do their part. But what it separated the APT from anybody else is you and Jody. The sincerity that you showed, and the honesty that you showed, and the business plan, let's call it a business plan, what you had told me was going to happen. I felt right out of your mouth that it was going to happen. And you know what? You did. You did exactly what you said you're going to do, and you continue to do it. And I am couldn't be more proud to be a partner with you two and the rest of the team, because your team is awesome as well.
Yeah, no, we're very blessed. Obviously you've got to work with Jersey. Everybody's jealous. getting to work with Jersey. I think she's being the new kid on the block, but she's great. Helping us in merchandising, which just means for the APT people, you don't have, Chris and I picking out all your merchandise to buy, which is, I promise, a good thing. But no, we appreciate that. And, we continue to try to stay focused. You were with us when we talked through, and we've done the special 200 shirt with the alternate logo, and for us, it's just a commitment to go back to those original days and continue to build the tour on what we started building the tour on. And
Sure.
it's just listening to our players and continuing to be pliable and moldable and willing to do things to continue to make our product offering better. It cracks me up because we've had several try to copy at this point that it just the whole thing is you've got to be flexible and listen, and then also understand that some of the suggestions you're going to get are a 1 in 100 suggestion and not a 90 of 100 suggestion, and you got to have the discernment to know the difference, and then just continue to work hard. And we're blessed. Like, our team's great. Phil, Chris, Mark, Jody,
Everybody. You know what your biggest strength is? You're great listeners. And that's what Dave and Rocky and Joey and I and Jay do, is we listen to everybody, the consumers and our retailers, what they want. I mean, tell us what you want. If we're doing something wrong, we want to know about it. We don't want to be, we're not the be all,
right.
The pièce de resistance is not us. We may design it, but if it's not designed right, we want to know about it. If it doesn't fit right, we want to know about it. And, we did that with our Power Shift when we first came out with it. Remember that one? That was a great product. I mean, it's a fantastic product, but unfortunately for a guy with a little extra butt, when he bent over, he became plumber's crack, and that wasn't a good thing. So Rocky redesigned Generation 2, and it's called the Sport Shift, and it is unbelievable. It's amazing. It's an amazing new product, laser cut ventilation. So anybody who's working in a heavy sweat activity event, whether it's a UPS driver, an EMS guy, or it doesn't matter. If you're sweating heavily in your job responsibility or your sport, you want to wear this. If you're crossfitting, you're pelotoning, you're going out kayaking, you can wear it in water. It's laser cut ventilation. It dries in 4 to 5 minutes after you get out of the water. Those things are things that Rocky and Dave learned by listening to the retailers yourselves, the consumers, to tell us what's good, better, and different about a product. And that's what separates us from the other people, is being good listeners and knowing where to focus and how to focus on it and get it to the market.
No, absolutely. And, I haven't had a 200 product that I don't love. I'll say that. And I've had a lot of them at this point. But, the next one I want to shift gears a little bit. Well, I still got some time. I'm really excited about this U.S. glove deal. So you come up to me last year at the PGA show, and you're like, hey, go find this booth. And for those who haven't been to the PGA show, Jack sent me to find a needle in a haystack in this just crazy maze. And it took like literally 2 times of walking back to the 200 booth to get directions. Okay, now I know where I'm going to find this little booth called U.S. Glove with these golf gloves. And you were getting involved with them. And, man, I think it's the best thing. The APT Tour glove. I mean, I've played a lot of golf in my life. I've used every different glove product you can think of. It's by far my favorite I've ever had.
Thank you.
So it's just good. So why don't you tell us a little bit? How do you get involved with them? I know you had been involved with them for a while.
Yeah. I'll give you the Cliff Notes version. Of course, it's only a 110-year-old family-owned company. I was working for from 1999 to 2013 as vice president, and it was called Bally Leathers and was owned by the Whittemer family. And it was, like I said, a 5th generation. So here's John, who's running it, who was the elder statesman. I mean, John is a guy who I was always praising because I was just interested in learning what he forgets every day, because he's that brilliant. And he was a glovesmith, let's call it. He's a guy who can design. He was an engineer by trade. He was thrown into this when his great-grandfather of the family died, and they needed somebody to come in and take it over. They said, who's going to run this business? And John gave up his engineering career to do it, took it to the next level. I was fortunate to meet them because I met them through Tommy Armour. When I was the regional manager for them, they were making gloves for Tommy under the private brand. So every sales meeting or every time we would have meetings with execs, and the management would always be with the principals of the companies that were licensees for Tommy Armour. And they were licensing the Tommy Armour name, making Tommy Armour gloves, making Ram gloves, and making teardrop gloves, because that was all owned under one umbrella. And that's how I got to know them. And one thing that always stood out from me is the fact that if you can make FootJoy gloves for 40 years and be the only outside vendor permitted to make gloves for FootJoy, which is a multi-billion-dollar company owned by at that point, a liquor company, was the Jack Daniel's parent company. Fortune Brands owned them at that time. They permitted Bally Leathers to continue to make gloves for them because John came up with the Graflex patent, which is the glove leather tanning process that's in the tour glove of the APT. And graphite tanning means it's going to stay soft, and that's where the FootJoy Stay Soft was born. So people didn't understand that. When you sweat, the glove gets crispy and boardy, and ours does not. And it's machine washable, by the way. Most people don't know that. You do not put it in the dryer, and it's not going to come clean. You're not going to get pearl white clean.
Right.
It's going to just take the soil, the oils that build up in that leather out of that and still keep it soft and supple. But most people don't know, as you know, Matt, that you have to rotate gloves. If you wear one glove for 10 rounds, you just wore that glove out. There's no doubt you beat the hell out of the leather, and the skin's going to lose its elasticity and it's going to lose its tackiness. But if you have 3 gloves in a rotation, you're going to make those gloves last longer and fit better the whole time. And that's what was really cool about this company. Everything is table cut. Everything is a hand cut on the table. It's not like they put 20 layers of leather down and put a stamp machine down there and knock this 100-pound machine down through the leather, which then stretches it so the top may cut clean, but by the time you get to the bottom, it's not the same cut because you've stretched the leathers out. John was particular about that. So fit and performance and comfort were very important to him. And he didn't want twisted thumbs and pinkies. How many people have put on a glove and their thumb or their pinky twists? Or you could be a cadet medium and you could pull 3 cadet mediums off and all 3 fit differently. That's not going to happen. Our gloves are going to fit exactly the same. If there is a tweak on it, it was a defect, and we would definitely take care of that. And we pay particular attention. We had a couple of the APT gloves that tore at the knuckle. Right. We've already gone back to the factory. Not only did we replace them for the members, we've already gone back to the factory, and all new gloves coming out have a double reinforcement of a new thread that we're using to make sure that doesn't happen. Yeah. So we're paying attention to those things. And that's what I think is the highest level of glove manufacturing. And then we don't just make golf gloves. We make dress gloves. We make cashmere line dress. We make work gloves. We make lawn and garden gloves. We make UPS and FedEx drivers gloves. We make tactical gloves for the government. So we are a true glove manufacturer and not just a broker by any means. We are the actual factory. We have a tanning factory that's 15,000 square feet with tanning and manufacturing on 1,500 acres in Chennai, India is the main office. So it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is. It's super cool. I know I've got to see the videos of it. Haven't been there yet, but certainly would love to at some point see it. It's quite the impressive operation. I think that's one of the things that's important. There's so many times when you're buying stuff, and I've learned all this. I was a rookie, like owning a golf tour. Didn't ever think that would be doing much with retail and figuring it out. But one of the differences that we've done, and you obviously know this, is so many of our competitors that want to have a pro shop, they'll go to another company that contracts and they'll buy, event type stuff and say, here's this. I get an email from somebody that says I should do that every week. We've done it different. We go direct with the vendor with things. And what's nice about the gloves, obviously we're designing, have some ability to potentially do some new colors in 2025 with you guys. We've added the rain gloves, which have been increasingly popular. So popular that I haven't even pulled a pair out yet because every time my size comes in, they sell out before I can steal a pair from the office. So, but love the rain gloves, the tour gloves, obviously, compared to, name brand, whatever,
yep.
Right? Or 30 to 35 gloves. The retail on this is 18. We've done that intentionally to give, our players, kind of a built-in discount. Mm-hmm. We just did the 3 for $30 in October for gloves. That was really popular. And if you show up at any of the majors this year, part of your tee gift is going to be a glove from US Glove, one of those APT Tour gloves, which has been really popular so far. I've heard nothing but great feedback from our members.
Yeah, we have to, and we appreciate that. And one thing I want to reinforce too is since John has passed away in 2020, and the company was sold, you know who sold to? It was sold to the factory, who's been his partner for 50 years, and his name's Nasser Ahmed, and his son and Arshan and Anis, his nephew, run the company, and they have the same pledge to give us the best performance fit, and they care so much about it because they're actually making it. They
Right.
are the India factory, so nobody's going to make it better, and they're going to address every part of every glove to make sure that when it comes out, I mean, we've got leathers that nobody else has. Their technology advancement over there is that far ahead that we're working on biodegradable leather gloves, just because of the industry and what you have to do, because the leather it's a skin, right? And when you tan it, you're putting chemicals into that, and that may not make it biodegradable, so you have to throw it away. It has chromium in it, and chromium is what keeps the leather together, because once you take the fat off of the skin, you have to reinforce that skin in some way to make it hold its shape and to make sure it holds its consistency so it doesn't tear apart, because skins from sheep is what we're dealing with here. Now, there are calf skin and there are goat skins being used, but they're not being used in golf. They're being used more in batting gloves and other sports gloves that we make as well.
Yeah. No, definitely. And, one of the big things to let everybody know, obviously, all the products available through the APT Pro Shop. If there's something that you want that you don't see in the Pro Shop, let us know. We can get it. I know, Jack, you've got a huge line of gloves. We've had requests for the winter gloves. We've been ordering some winter gloves for people. We're gonna stock some of the more weather tech type gloves, which is a little bit cheaper price point. A little bit, just similar to a FootJoy Weather Soft, which is not going to be that really soft leather feel. It's more, of course, I'm not the right person to be having this piece of the conversation, but they're just a little bit more firm, I would say, firm feeling than the.
Well, it's not firm. Here's what it is. It's a price point. Yes, that's the most important thing. But we can introduce the Cabratech is going to
Right.
be one that's going to be great. So we have a patent on that. Nobody else makes a single layer synthetic glove that can withstand the abrasion that you get in golf. Everybody's different, right? Why is everybody different in the way a glove wears? It's because the sweat, the acidity in each person's sweat can be very high to very low, and everything in between. Well, the people who have that high acidity eat into the leather. Their sweat has acidity and it's going to eat the leather. So Caprotech will not allow that to happen because it's a single layer synthetic. But they don't want to lose that feel, right? That's a player who doesn't want to lose the leather feel, because single layer, where you're talking like the Weather Soft from FootJoy, is a synthetic with a leather tab at the thumb and the bottom. But the problem is it gets thick, right? You're losing a little bit of that feel.
Right.
Caprotech, you're not going to lose that. We do have a Weather Soft competitor, a competitive glove called the Ulticross, which every APT member, if they want a glove that's different from the tour glove, tell them to go to usgglove.com. Look at what they see there. If they like something, there's no minimum. They can come to us and get an APT logo and buy it from you.
Yep. And we'll take care of all that. That's not a problem at all.
Easy.
We're excited about the partnership. I think this is another great value. We've got a huge shipment of gloves that's due in early January. And so January, look for a big special on the gloves in the digital membership card. We're going to do something cool with those when those come in. And we're excited about the partnership. So
yeah. And I think you're right. The new color, there's some Ultima new colors, the new APT Tour glove in two new colors will be introduced in a mild way. You don't have to buy a multitude of those in a big quantity to get them. We'll have them in stock and make it easy for people. But you're going to love the feel on those. And people said, hey, I want a darker glove because I don't like my glove gets dark, stained, and you have something black or a dark gray. And, we'll be there. We'll have some colors that'll make people happy.
Yeah, once again, player feedback, and all of a sudden it comes in thanks to you guys, and we appreciate it. So, I mean, what did we miss, Jack? We've been at it a little over 50 minutes, and seems like we're starting to cover it, I think.
No, I think we're covering a lot, Matt. I think the most important thing is that the relationship continues to prosper for everybody, that we're good listeners on both sides of the table, and that the fact that I'm on both sides of the table and I'm a player as well, I hear the feedback. So it's great because I can convey that immediately to the manufacturer. You're not putting it through somebody and waiting for answers. We can get answers quickly. And if there's something we're missing, I want the members to tell us. And if we're doing something wrong, I want the members to tell us. And if we're doing something right, we always love to hear compliments too. But we certainly appreciate the loyalty and the support. Love the relationship and love the membership for what they do for us.
Yeah, well, we love you too, Jack. You've been great to us. I know our members love you. I hear nothing but great things. You know, people are like, oh, I got to meet Jack the other day, and it's still surreal for me because, you know, being able to travel around the country and visit everybody. There's a lot of people that I think are awesome in one place or the other that I just assume know each other that don't. So they get paired together finally and get to meet, and the friendships form. It's like, well, this makes sense. But you know, it's something that, because I've seen them both and know them, I just assume that everybody I know knows everybody else. And so it's kind of fun to see those relationships come together, but should be fun. You know, the APT Golf Podcast is now in Spotify, should be up in Apple Podcast shortly. We'll put it on YouTube and Facebook. We'll keep the Thursday night nines up. We plan on these as every other week to launch with somebody new. Got some good names coming up too, as well, in the next couple of these podcast episodes. Hopefully we'll continue to get better. Hopefully we didn't bore everybody to death, Jack, but I don't think so. So we'll see.
Well, I hope we didn't either. And I just want to say thank you for having us. And we certainly appreciate being the first, and only wish you the much success with all the future ones, because I know they're all going to be great. And there's going to be some great guests that are very engaging for something, you know, for good questions and good things to learn.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, we're looking forward to it, and we're looking forward to seeing you in a week or so down in Myrtle Beach, True Blue, Caledonia. So,
I'll be a spectator this time, but I'll be there.
Yeah, I know. You got to get healed up. But which one's your favorite between the two? True Blue.
Surgery's in March. I'll be healed up by next July.
There we go. So True Blue or Caledonia? Which one are you picking?
Oh, I like Caledonia. I mean, I love True Blue because it's a totally different, but
Right.
Caledonia aesthetically to me is the most pleasing golf course down here. True Blue, I think, is a tougher golf course for sure. I do, you know, my love of playing is definitely True Blue. My looks, then aesthetically, I think Caledonia is bar none is the best out there.
Yeah, no, I think Caledonia is a special place. They're both special places.
They are.
For our sold out field coming down to the 2-under Myrtle Beach Holiday Classic. Got some great tee gifts for you when you get down there. But Jack, thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll look forward to seeing you. And we'll have you on. You know, you're a regular on the Thursday Night 9, and I'm sure we'll do this again. So thanks for stopping in, and we'll look forward to seeing you soon.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate it. Have a great evening.
You too.
Bye. Take care. Bye.